and welcome to the eFresh.com Meat, Poultry and Egg News. Today is the 7th of October. My name is Kim and these are this week's headlines. Ministry stops buying cattle. Aussie burgers off U.S. menu. Farmers dispute methane measure. $40 million to boost Burundi agriculture. Additional poultry meat importation readied. The Kenya Meat Commission has suspended the off-take scheme aimed at buying cattle and slaughtering them at the buying centers after the Ministry of Livestock Development ran out of cash. The minister, Dr. Mohamed Kuti, confirmed the suspension of the program, saying the Treasury was yet to release 200 million shillings to finance it. He also disclosed that the slaughter of animals at the point of purchase had also been suspended until further notice. The suspension of the two programs comes amid accusations from livestock owners that the scheme had been hijacked by middlemen who are exploiting them by buying their animals for as little as 500 shillings, while they sold the same for 8,000 shillings to KMC. Beef exports demand for Australian hamburger beef has taken a dive as U.S. dairy producers cull their herds and flood their market with grinding beef. In the most recent round of U.S. dairy herd retirements, U.S. organization Cooperatives Working Together removed 274 herds, or 74,114 cows. When combined with herd retirements completed earlier this year, CWT has removed 225,783 cows and 5,016 heifers from the U.S. herd. Almost all of these have entered the domestic trade as manufacturing beef, diminishing the U.S.'s requirements for such imports. CWT Chief Operating Officer Jim Tillison said the U.S. dairy herd downturn had been rapid since the beginning of the global financial crisis. Farmers' claims that cattle and sheep are responsible for 10.9% of Australia's greenhouse gas emissions have been called into question after scientists discovered considerable variation in the amount of methane produced by individual animals. Farmers, fearful of the cost of greenhouse gas emissions trading will impose on their businesses, are demanding more accurate measurement of emissions before the ETS is brought in Beverly. Australia boasts 26.81 million head of beef and dairy cattle and 69.2 million sheep, so even a small error would quickly compound in any attempt to measure the total greenhouse gas expelled by the animals. Earlier this year, the Department of Agriculture put $11.25 million into programs to reduce methane from livestock. The agricultural and livestock sector in Burundi will benefit over the next 4 years from an investment of $40 million from the European Union, the International Fund for Agricultural Development, and World Food Programme. Initially, the Intensification and Development Project will cover Kayanza, Gitega, Miramvya, Cibitoke, Bubanza, and Karuzi, said the Minister of Agriculture and Livestock. He explained that the 6 provinces in the northern, western, and central parts of the country had the common feature of being the most affected by poverty and the land degradation. Regarding the distribution of resources, 90% of the amount will be directed to agricultural and livestock projects initiated by the population, and 10% to operating costs of the project. The Philippines might import an additional 2,000 to 3,000 metric tons of poultry meat to meet the seasonally high demand as Christmas approaches, given an expected supply shortfall, government and industry officials said. The planned poultry meat imports come shortly after an announcement last week that the government, local producers, and traders will import 20,000 metric tons of pork to avoid a supply gap of the commodity. Agriculture Undersecretary Bernie G. Fondavilla said that the government is prepared to import the commodity if the private sector will not do so. On the other hand, the president of the United Broiler Raisers Association said local producers are willing to allow additional imports. Thank you for watching the eFresh.com Meat, Poultry and Egg News. See you next time.